Hi everyone, this is Mehul Sheikh, and in today's video I will discuss about two of the important concepts of object-oriented programming, and they are data abstraction and encapsulation. Okay, so both of these concepts are almost similar with a little bit of variation. Okay, so now let us see both of these concepts one by one. Okay, so let us start with the data abstraction. Okay, so it refers to provide only essential information about the data to the outside world, hiding the background details or implementation. So what it says is, when you write the code for developing any system, develop those applications or write the code for those applications in such a way that your system or the program should provide the user only that much of information which user really want. Okay, no need to provide the user unwanted information. That means once your system has been developed, once you write the program, okay, your program should not provide unwanted information to the user. It should provide only that much of information which that user required. Okay, so now whenever we develop any applications, whenever we write the code for developing any software application, with those applications most of the times we used to accept the data from the users. Okay, and that data can be less sensitive or more sensitive, and once we accept the data from the user, and when it comes to display the data to the user, at that time we should provide only that much of information to the user which that user really required or which that user really want. Okay, so we should not provide them that information which is been not at all required by that user. That's what data abstraction. Okay, now let us take an example of ATM machine, which is also an automated machine. Now person had an account in any bank and he wants to withdraw money from the ATM of that bank. Okay, and that person also had taken loan from that bank. So now his major concern is only to withdraw money when he visit the ATM. Okay, so when he withdraw money from the ATM, apart from giving him the information about the amount which he had withdrawn, if that ATM machine also started displaying the information of his loan which he had taken from that bank, okay, how much installments he has paid, okay, or how much installments he has to paid in future. Okay, so that is not at all required, right? Okay, so here at this point of time when his major concern is only to withdraw money from the ATM, if that system also started displaying him the details of his loan which was not at all required at that time. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, whenever you write the code for developing any system, whenever you develop any applications, you should write the code in such a way that once that system gets developed and when user started using that system, your system should provide him only that much of information which that user needed at that point of time. Okay, no need to provide him additional or extra information which that user doesn't require. Okay, so that is what data abstraction is all about. Okay, so we should write the program for developing any system in such a way our system should provide only the essential information to that user, or only that much of information which that user required at that time. Okay, no need to give him additional information. Okay, so that is the concept of data abstraction, which is one of the important concept in object oriented programming. Okay, now let us discuss encapsulation. So encapsulation is also used for hiding the information from the user. So here how the data is been hidden from the user. Now let us see that. So data encapsulation is defined as wrapping up of data and information under a single unit. In object oriented programming, encapsulation is defined as binding together the data and the functions that manipulates them. Okay, so we guys have already discussed how the class is designed and what information a class contains in our earlier videos. In a class we used to provide the details of data on which we are working and the details of the functions with which we manipulate the data. We used to provide all those details inside the class. Okay, and then later on when we create a main function, then we used to create an object of that class and we used to access these data members and member functions with the object of that class. Okay, exactly the same way how I have written inside this void main function. So now as you can see here, inside this class, the data on which I'm going to operate and the functions with the help of which I'm going to operate on this data, both of them are placed inside a single place. Both of these data and member functions are wrapped up, as you can see here, is defined as wrapping up of data and information. Okay, so this is my information, this is also called as member functions, and this is the data. Okay, so both of these data and member functions I have wrapped up inside a single place under a single unit. So that is what encapsulation. Here, whatever data on which I am going to operate and with which functions I am going to operate on this data, I have kept this information inside a unit, and that is class. So now these data members and member functions are very important because these data members hold the information of the users, and with these operations I am performing functions on this data. So I have to make certain arrangement in my program where my data and member functions has to be secure, and for securing these data members and member functions, I have the concepts of access modifiers, which is private, public, and protected. Okay, so for securing the data in our program, I have kept my data member inside the private access modifier and member functions inside the public access modifier. So I have kept my data members inside the private because I don't want any other class to make modification to my data. That's why I have kept my data inside the private access modifier, whereas I have kept the member functions inside the public access specifier. So here our major concern is to understand the encapsulation. Okay, so as the definition says, data encapsulation is defined as wrapping up of data and information under a single unit. Okay, and is defined as binding together the data and functions that manipulates them. So I hope you understood. Okay, so here this class is responsible in containing both my data and member functions. Okay, so that is what encapsulation is all about. So in this video we saw what is data abstraction and what is encapsulation with the help of these examples. Okay, so I hope you understood properly what is data abstraction and encapsulation and how useful they are. So with these two concepts we are restricting our data and functions to be accessed by unauthorized functions or unauthorized class. So I hope you understood both of this, data abstraction and encapsulation, and that's all for this video, guys. And if you like this video, click on like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching.